And so here it is, the Kickstarter rematch poll winner death battle, Master Chief versus Doomslayer. My history with this matchup is both complex, but also really simple, and I can explain it simply as just, I didn't care about it, then I came to like legacy matches more with time, and then I came to just want to see new stuff instead of returners even more than I already did, and then at a certain point I was just happy for the people who wanted it, and hoping to see a proper long-range gunfight. We've had very few of those. The original Master Chief versus Doom Guy, Ratchet and Clank versus Jack and Daxter, arguably Rocket Raccoon versus Stitch, though Stitch barely uses his guns for most of that. Most other episodes with gunfight potential just didn't tend to utilize it, and sadly, in my opinion, this is one of those.
Cortana, have you located the G Fuel?
Yeah, I'm Cortana. No, John, I haven't. Wait, G Fuel readings have just spiked.
You, where's the G Fuel?
Hey, I'm Vega. Kill him.
Wait. Listen, I'm over here for the G Fuel. Do you know what that is? Alright. G Fuel is a plant-based energy formula. It's vegan-friendly and contains 0 carbs, calories, or sugars.
Hey, I'm Cortana. This isn't working.
I just need to jog his memory. G Fuel is available in over 50 flavors in tubs or cans. It's also available in the hydration range. This range contains 0 caffeine, so you can enjoy the flavors without the issues caffeine brings. That being that it is not fit for kids under the age of 18. And frankly, I don't think you have it in you to drink responsibly.
Yeah, I'm Cortana. We're no longer in the abandoned ship area.
Gee, thanks, Cortana.
G Fuel.
Is that a G Fuel cannon? No. Wait. He's the source of the G Fuel readings. He's a G Fuel drinker.
Use the link in the description and code BLOODRIGHT for 20% off your order of G Fuel.
Hey, I'm Vega. I don't think he's gonna do that now. But let's of course start with the analyses, and to be honest, I don't like these very much. Master Chief's analysis doesn't feel like it has the right vibe. It starts right, I like how they covered his backstory, but pretty quickly it just goes into exploring the weapons and such. This could be fine, but honestly sometimes feels like they weren't going, this is how cool he is, and more, this is why you think he's cool. You know you all use the sword, we all found out he was badass at this point. I just don't like the analyses that presuppose you like the character. Like, yes, I do. This is not why. I don't like him because he's super tough or because he's got the sword. I don't go for the energy sword. I don't like how it plays, to be honest. I still think the weapon's really fucking cool, but I don't go for it unless I'm the arbiter. I just feel like I need to morally. I'm very happy they addressed the elephant thing though. Like that made me happy. I really love the fact that it goes, how the hell do you do that? I've always liked that. And the explanation of his rank as petty officer was actually a nice touch that I appreciated a lot. Then came Cortana, who I think got a raw deal in this whole episode. In the analysis, they express her abilities, they vaguely explain her relationship with Master Chief as just, she was a friend, then became a villain, and then died, but hey, he got a new one. It didn't really feel like they emphasized Master Chief's relationship with Cortana and the lengths he'll go to for her. The team he had during his training, his struggles, and how much he had to push through, they're not mentioned. They never mentioned the Flood for some reason, his rivalry with the Arbiter. They emphasized Forerunner tech that won't be used at all in the fight. There's no mention of Locke. There's no mention of the fact that, like, anything. Like, nothing I like about Master Chief is brought up. The fact that a lot of his, like, desire to protect and be there with Cortana is because he's got survivor's guilt. He doesn't want anyone else dying around him while his luck makes him survive. More than anything, that's something that the analysis failed to capture. That's a core element of Master Chief's character. It's probably, like, that's his most primary trait, luck. That is what defines him compared to his fellow Spartans. He was not the strongest, the fastest, the toughest, the most skilled, the best shooter, but he was the luckiest, and that's why he's the Master Chief. The analysis mentions it in one sentence offhand as if it's just a minor thing. Okay, that said, the best book ever written got referenced. So, Doomslayer I also found quite disappointing for a multitude of reasons. Throughout both of these analyses, I wanted to return to Season 1 boomstick weapon hyperfixation, but while they kinda dipped into it a little bit, they don't emphasize it at all. Boomstick calls the Magnum beautiful and that he loves the super shotgun, but compared to his absolute orgasm in the original, it just isn't as entertaining or characterful for me. I don't think it's as fun. There's also a 20-second ad in the analysis, which is incredibly jarring and frustrating, but whatever, I already bought the damn thing. The ad was not necessary. I purchased it the day it went up on pre-order, come on. To be honest though, Flynn's analysis just doesn't feel as exuberant and excited for the character as the first episode. And what really gets me is that, like, they didn't address his character. Doomslayer isn't just the mindless rage killer badass guy everyone assumes he is. There is extra depth to him that makes him a terribly tragic character. He is defined by his guilt and self-loathing. He loses himself to anger because that's something that can fill the hole in him. He became tantamount to a holy paladin for space aliens to fill the void with something better, and that also went to shit. There's a tragedy to him, and also a hopefulness. That this man who lost his humanity has one thing left in that void of a heart: a love for humanity. He doesn't harm any humans even if they're on the enemy side. If they don't attack him, he'll ignore them. He's just not the violent kill monster the analysis defines him as. He hates demons, but anything else he's a lot more lenient with, especially people. There is a sort of, like, hopeful idea there that humankind, even at our worst, at our baseline, we should have that love for one another. We should look out for people. That's like, even if the Doomslayer can do it, why can't anyone else? But no, they just express that Doom is a surreal postmodern story and leave it at that, which almost felt like an excuse to not talk about the Slayer's character. And he has a whole 2 extra minutes of analysis on the Master Chief. Even with 20 seconds of that devoted to an ad, could they not do more? These analyses just do not address either of these two as characters. Chief is the guy you know is cool, and Slayer is the guy who is cooler. That's what they are, and that's the vibe I get, and I personally didn't like that. I didn't think these analyses covered what I like, and they did not address the primary traits of the characters as characters beyond their movesets and how cool they are. The Commander Keen reference was good at them, and the editing was still really good, so it's not all bad. There's definitely elements there. Then there's the fight. It's the main thing, after all. It's kind of split into 2 halves, and I've noticed that a lot of people prefer the second half, but for me personally, I don't love either, but I greatly prefer the first half. The bit before they go into hell has by far the cooler interactions, and honestly some really neat character animation going on. I can overlook some weird things, like Chief looks really bad walking at the start. That is terrible. It breaks the 180 rule, and this weird shot is a bit disorienting with how he gets shot from the right, jumps up, and shoots to the left. But this whole segment of the fight has some really fucking cool writing and choreography. One thing I personally really liked about the original episode was the contrast between Doomguy having a whole arsenal built in, while Chief had to rely on his canonical ridiculous luck to find weapons in the area. Aside from the energy sword or pistol, one of which he pulls out of his ass, Chief is doing that here. The brute shot he gets off the ground, the rocket launcher is visible next to the forklift. I love how Slayer is obviously much stronger than Chief, but Chief is able to use the environment and his creativity to get the upper hand. Chief tries to get close at the start, so the minigun isn't as usable. This only fails because Slayer is just a guy that can batter you with a minigun the way no normal man could. Chief uses grenades to delay the Slayer, and there's that great shot of like the minigun stopping a bunch of them, like that's just really cool. Chief gets overwhelmed in raw strength when they clash brute shot and chainsaw, but he fires the weapon so that he can get momentum to push the Slayer back. He tries to put his foot on Slayer's knee to get some leverage and hold him back again. He utilizes the forklift nearby in a super clean sequence, and as Slayer was more than able to dodge a near point-blank brute shot blast earlier, he uses that forklift to get the time to hit him with the rocket launcher. When he locks the energy sword with the Slayer's blade, he lets himself get pushed back. He jumps back, knowing how the Slayer fights in melee, which makes the Slayer push forward and go off balance, letting Chief combo him. There's this sick as hell POV shot from the Slayer where we can see Chief's skill as he parries and gets around Slayer's attacks to try and hit him. That's all really cool, and accompanied with fun references like the Rat and Isabel. The generally really fluid motion outside of the weird minigun dodging and the kind of awkward turnaround here for Doomslayer, I genuinely quite like the first half. I think it's really well done. Also, the transition out from the POV shot is so fucking clean, the way it zooms in like that. It's so good. That said, I don't like the intro to the fight. Like, the setup is just Chief walks in and Vega tells Slayer to kill him. I don't even think it'd be hard to write a better setup. Let's say the scenario should instead be Chief is already there, the UNSC has ordered him to guard a portal, Slayer walks in, ready to go through the portal because he needs to, you don't need a reason why, he's the Slayer, and he expects Chief to get out of the way. Chief gets in his way, and the fight starts because Slayer gave him the chance to move and he didn't. Simple, concise, fits both characters. You can have Cortana bantering with Chief, you can have like Chief express that he's here to guard the portal and Slayer's not allowed through, and then Slayer just ignores him. I think that would have worked better, personally. The second half of the fight, then. This is where my issues come in. At first, it's fine. The camera when Slayer fires this is really weird to me, but it's not too big a deal. Slayer punching Chief as they fall is cool, no issues. But when they land, suddenly there's this pointless demon fight. Now, I know people love this bit, and I'm sure people will just say, it's cool, who cares? And I'd say, fair enough, glad you like it. I don't think it's cool. Like, it's just the vague concept of Master Chief and Doomslayer teaming up to kill demons, that's cool. What we get is the Slayer shoots 2 things and swings at the camera, and then Chief shoots a few things and grenades a third. That's all it takes to kill everything. There is one shot where they're both fully visible on screen. Otherwise, they're just fighting mooks with really boring choreography. I want to compare this to other scenes like Frank vs. Leon, where the two are fighting each other and zombies at the same time, and emphasis is put on both of them. Or the less similar but kinda relevant Dio card scene, where Dio and the World fight off the Horde on both sides of the screen. I think my problem should be a little more evident with that. They're not fighting each other at the same time as the demons, so we get a 30-second delay from the thing we actually came to see. You know, Master Chief versus Doomslayer? And the novelty of seeing them fighting demons simultaneously isn't there, because this isn't done as a wide shot. Like, this would be so much cooler as a wide shot where you see a ton of action going on at both ends. Like, that would be sick. I just don't understand the hype for this scene. It comes out of nowhere. It's an awkward pause from the thing people wanted to see, and I just feel like the choreography's boring. And, you know, Slayer being mischaracterized should not be possible on something like Death Battle. But him sucker punching a guy who just went out of his way to help him kill demons just doesn't fit how he's portrayed in the latest games. I mean, like, he went out of his way to help Samuel, who was helping him with demons. I think Slayer would turn around silently and expect Chief to explain. Like, if he had some preconceived notion, or he knew that Chief was going to do something bad, then sure. Like, if he knew something about Chief that made him an enemy. But if it's literally just Vega said you might have to fight, and then he opened fire on this guy, I think that he would come to... Like, he's not an idiot. Slayer's not an idiot. He would come to understand that Chief's not exactly a villain here. This is not a scenario that needed to exist, and the problems only compound from there, in my opinion. The combo Chief does is fine for what little he hits with, but it's followed by Cortana doing her only thing in the entire animation. And I mean, like, Cortana does nothing the whole episode except this. She deactivates that annoying AI. What do you mean annoying AI? Vega has literally done nothing but tell Doomslayer about stuff he can already tell us around him, which is only emphasized by how he deactivates him, and the very next scene is Slayer seeing an invisible Master Chief. Like, he spends the whole fight telling Slayer about things that he can already see, and the very next scene after he's deactivated is Slayer seeing something he could already see. And like, yeah, the scene's cool. I don't think it's nearly as cool as how it was done in the original, with Doom Guy switching weapons and just immediately going at him. Also, why is Slayer taller than Chief here? He's like 2 or 4 inches shorter than the guy. What? Slayer wanting to catch and redirect his own rocket is cool looking, and I'd accept how much it goes against his own portrayal in his own games if Chief didn't just let the rocket hit him. They make him faster in the analysis, and they show Spartans dodging lasers, but he just stands there and lets himself get hit with a rocket. It's just dumb. Hi guys. The Spartan laser versus BFG clash is admittedly really fucking cool, but I can't help but notice how one of the small details I liked, how Chief gets his weapons, is replaced with him pulling them out of nowhere. He just pulls the shotgun out of his ass, he pulls these SMGs out of nowhere, he pulls the Spartan laser out of fuck knows, and then Chief just dies. He gets his own POV shot, which is kind of neat in the sense that it's there, and I like the classic Halo "oh shit you're dying" sound being used. But while Doomslayer's POV scene was this clean melee encounter between the two, Chief's is just him missing Doomslayer with SMGs and then dying. And I think the death is kind of lame personally. Slayer cuts off Chief's arms, which I didn't even notice at first because it was all done in POV, and I just didn't clock on to the fact that his arms were gone. Then he breaks his neck, and then for no reason, he stabs Chief's already dead corpse and blows his head off. Admittedly, Doomslayer is the kind of completely extra diva who would do this to someone he kills, but it's just not that cool. The final shot is like neat, but I find this overall sequence just kind of there, and I was completely stone-faced, in fact for the entire thing my first watch. When I first watched this, I thought the whole thing was really fucking boring. On rewatch, I've come to appreciate and quite like the first half actually. Really looking in for those small details made me appreciate it a lot more. but doing the same for the second half went the other way. Chief stops picking weapons up off the ground, even though I think it'd be completely believable for someone with Chief's luck to just find shit there. Like, what if he found Forerunner weaponry in hell? That would actually be like an interesting question of how to get there. That's interesting, because it's believable the Forerunners would have gone there, you know? Like, in a hypothetical crossover. And like, people going, oh, it's so convenient, that's Master Chief's MO. Not that they'd know if they watched the episode without playing Halo. Or they could have even had him use the grappling hook as he was going through the portal to grab a big box in the first area. Like, let's say when he's flying through, he shoots the grappling hook, it grabs a box, slams into Doomslayer's back to force him in as well. Like, Chief didn't know that Slayer was going to jump in after him, so he decides to force him to come through as well. And his luck resulted in that box having weapons for him that scatter in the area. I don't know, it'd be a small detail, but those small details are what make me like the first half so much. As someone who likes to write this kind of stuff, I personally love attention to detail, and telling stories instead of just cool stuff that I could get from bloody anywhere online. Chief also stops, like, having any cool skill or usage of the environment. Outside of this one combo, he fails in invisibility, dodges the longest charge shot ever, and gets hit with a rocket, then shoots one laser and dies. And Chief in general kinda pulled off nothing in this fight. The first half I think is fine. Neither character get any meaty hits in because Chief is avoiding all the Slayer's attacks. The biggest hit in the first half is the rocket launcher. It's a solid back and forth. Once in hell though, Chief gets wombo comboed, sucker punched, his combo is entirely no-sold, or should I really say that, despite how it all looks all nice and fancy, he lands one hit that's no-sold. His invisibility does nothing, he gets smashed with the rocket and he dies. Nowhere does Chief get a major upper hand. And while I understand the whole, like, super soldier, lone super soldier, fighting uphill against impossible odds, I still think he should have gotten some meaningful moments. Like, his biggest hit is hitting Doomslayer with the rocket launcher early on. And can I ask, where'd Cortana go? She takes out Vega, comes back to ask if Chief's okay, and then has no reaction when he dies. I just have so many issues with how the second half was written. The animation looks nice, the camera work leads better than the last 3D episode. Frankly, so is the writing. I think especially Doomslayer's super speed shot is really well done. The effects are immaculate, from the red lightning to the BFGN laser. The Crucible looks phenomenal. This ledge looks like shit, but you know, that is just an epic. But really, what I care about, the writing and choreography, I personally think suffers. This really was just a Doomslayer episode from analysis to fight, and the kind of humiliating decapitated head on a knife end shot I think describes this whole episode perfectly with no words. You could just send this image to someone with no context and they would understand the whole episode. Doomslayer is victorious in a shot and a scene that's all modeled on Doom, while Master Chief is just kind of there, humiliatingly decapitated and impaled on the end of his knife, with a completely unharmed Doomslayer having pulled it off. And what's funny is that this is a Doomslayer episode from Analysis to Fight. It's an episode from Analysis to Fight about the Doomslayer's hype more than the Doomslayer himself. And frankly, the animation doesn't feel like Doom or Halo to me. It feels very anime-inspired, if anything, with notably how fast they move. Slayer in particular, I think, lacks the weight he needs, but it's a mutual thing. Not a huge deal on its own, like a lot of these, but it compounds with so many things to make an episode that, as a fan of both series, didn't do anything for me. And let me make this clear, because it's not uncommon for me to review episodes where I don't know the characters well. I love Halo. I even enjoyed Halo 4, and to a degree, Halo 5. With Halo 3 perhaps being my single favorite FPS of all time, with its biggest competition being Doom Eternal. Or Dishonored 1 and 2 if you count those. I love these games. I think the most interesting thematic through line for these two is that they're super soldiers who had their humanity ripped away from them, but not their love for and desire to protect humanity. As one man descends the depths of hell and the other reaches the edge of the final frontier, both share the goal of doing so for humankind. The one thing they truly have left to fight for. That and their mutual survivor's guilt. The analysis didn't capture that for me. The fight, I did not expect the fight to bring up the trauma or anything like that, okay? The analysis could have. Especially this season, where the worst analysis so far was, in my opinion, Kratos's, which was still really good. These analyses have been great at capturing the characters. This one does not. The fight ends up falling off into mindless choreography, and Cortana is shafted like crazy. Chief gets curb stomped, especially in the second half, and I don't like that. If you like this episode, that's fine, I respect your right to. My man Hyper loves the episode, and I'm not gonna bully him over it. I can bully his lack of height and inability to play Mario Party instead. I'm glad some people got more out of this episode than I did, but I personally didn't get what I was looking for, and what I did get didn't impress me. Then there's the conclusion, and this has problems too, honestly. Now, I'm not saying it was wrong or anything, and I'm also not saying that somehow the exclusion of multi-plus Doomslayer was a problem. I will say that them bringing up Universal Doomslayer and Lightspeed Master Chief in the analyses and not using them was really strange. The second category of AI is Chief's only given advantage, which is hilariously shoehorned in to give him an advantage, because they directly have a corner box saying that Cortana's impact will be negligible. So this is here, just so the end screen can have an advantage for Master Chief, because I assume they only wanted one stats category and not to split it into strength and speed, even though that would have resulted in a 2 against 3 matchup. I worded that really poorly. They didn't split stats into strength and speed, even though Chief would have won the speed, and thus the end screen would have had 2 Chief boxes against 3 Slayer boxes, so it looks a bit closer. They didn't do that. In fact, now that I'm saying that, I don't think there was a proper results screen, was there? They also Golden Tree Chief's shield, which for the unawares is a reference to the infamous Beast vs Goliath instance where they gave Beast a feat, and then in the conclusion explained why that feat was invalid, despite the analysis making it seem valid. They just outright go that Chief's shield here was not something he can normally do, which they do mention the reason why that is in the analysis, but they don't really say it. They say it in a way that implies, yeah, this is just fine to use anyway. I also felt like the conclusion was a bit rushed, like they wanted to talk about a lot, but they didn't want to talk for very long. Also, maybe don't say nothing in Chief's arsenal could match the BFG right after a fight where something in Chief's arsenal could match the BFG. A little synergy between conclusion and fight. In fact, conclusion, fight, and analyses all feel like they lack synergy between one another. It's weird. You know, I am a bit upset by this. I really wanted to like this episode, because the previous 2 rematches were great. Goku vs Superman 3 was a love letter wrapped in the skin of Valentine's Day. And Link vs... Why did I write that? What the fuck does that mean? And Link vs Cloud, despite its issues, was a really fun and creative animation. I am really glad a lot of other people liked this episode when I couldn't, but it wasn't for me. The characters and series I like weren't captured, and I wasn't exactly stoked to see Chief get bitched this hard. But please, feel free to show your support down below, because I'm not expecting pretty much anyone to agree with me on this. This is my contrarian opinion of the year quota fulfilled. This was a marked improvement from the last 3D episode though, in my opinion, and I do believe that the part of this fight Devil Artemis animated improved on a lot of my problems with several of his prior works. If he, let's say, watched my review of Kratos vs Azura, which I don't know if he did, then I hope some of my criticisms did play a part in things. And if he didn't, then maybe I just think too highly of myself. I am very glad to see his improvements. In fact, you'll notice most of my issues with this episode were in the writing and choreography, especially how things changed between the 2 halves, so that all the little details I liked are missing in the second. This is not a bad episode. I think objectively it's pretty good. It's just one that, as a fan of Doom and Halo, really didn't hit what I was looking for in terms of either series return, either characters return, or landing the potential that existed in the rematch. And the next time is Kyle Rayner vs Simon the Digger. Fuck me drunk, it's here already. Would've liked something new, but frankly, I'm excited to see what they do with this. And also, I'm probably gonna finally watch Gurren Lagann, so look forward to that in my 2025 new media video when that drops at the midpoint of the year, so. Have a good one, folks, and yes, I know it's not pronounced Simon. And that would be that review. I'm not necessarily happy about this one. As I said, I wanted to like this episode more than I did, but like, hey, it's fine to have differing opinions, right? Surely no one's gonna get really angry at me for having a different opinion and accusing me of just having a bunch of nitpicks and hating on Devil Artemis. No one's gonna do that, right? My cabinet does not want to close, and I cannot figure out why. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you disagree that you can at least understand where I'm coming from. Thank you everyone scrolling by right now for supporting me as well, as usual. And if you like when I talk about Death Battle, you can support me on Patreon. I guess it's like a quick update, because I originally was going to do this update in a different video, but the whole thing failed to record audio, which I'm hoping is not going to be the case this time. I am working on both the next Not Death Battle, which will be the Mockbuster Revenge Battle Royale, and the next Iceberg video. I've seen people asking about it. It's scripted, it's mostly recorded, I need to edit it, and hopefully both of those will be out next month. Or I don't know where this video comes up, whether it's next month or this month. In May. Hopefully they'll both be out in May. I can only hope. And if I am really good at editing with the limited time I've got to work on stuff currently, maybe I can even get the Video Bring Quato ranking out in May. Who knows? But yeah, I hope you guys are excited for that. And of course the Simone Kyle review. As of actually recording this segment, it's been a couple days since I finished the Patreon upload. I'm about halfway through Gurren Lagann. I am really enjoying it. So if you want a positive review, this video, the first half of Gurren Lagann is really good. I'm very excited for the second half. I've got to balance Gurren Lagann and Kamen Rider. But I'll probably just finish Gurren Lagann and then go to the next Kamen Rider show, which I'm currently up to Den-O, by the way, which is the big one. It's the big Heisei first half show. So, yeah. So as I said, thank you everyone supporting me on Patreon. You can go there by link in the description, and you can make me say stupid stuff. Let's see what they've got for me, because I don't think it's just skeleton memes this time. So I might be able to have a little dignity here.
Mr. Luthor, Dr. Doom does not appear in this story. We just felt like drawing his face.
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing trying to screw up the Doomslayer?
Sir, remember me.
Something I forgot to bring up in the fucking review, which I'm kicking myself, because it was something that bothered me. It was not a big deal. It was like one of those things, like, it's not a huge deal, but I guess a sign of the second half's like writing issues in terms of consistency with the first half. Master Chief goes invisible just to shoot Doomslayer in the head with a pistol. He already did that. He already shot him in the face, like in the visor even, with a pistol at fucking the first half, right before they got sent to hell. Did bro just forget? Is bro stupid?
Master Chief's here, and he's here to rap.
Do I find like an ERB to turn Chief Slayer into the way I did like Kratos Azra, because you know like I turned that into Master Chief Leonidas? Like what even works there? I'm trying to think. Let me know. Let me know what you think would work.
Let there be Master Chief plush with big ass head.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really that bad gore though, is it? It really ain't too big a problem. Cry about it, to be honest. I'm joking. They put them. Chief the soda. Yeah, why didn't they consider the soda hacks? What would Doomslayer do if he tried to hit Chief with the Crucible and Chief just turned into soda? Didn't think so.
I love Halo. He's my favorite character.
I just can't get over. So it was only a couple of days ago that Hoon and I we went to watch the Minecraft movie. We watched it a bit later than most people because it was hard to just line up times for us and some of our other mates. And when the skeletons showed up, we just lost it. That was the funniest moment of the movie, was the skeletons showing up. And just the idea of those skeletons going, with just any random skeleton meme image. Firstly mine, then we craft, let's Minecraft. It's not funny, what we're laughing.
I am feeling a deep emotion of love towards an object that is not named, but it is implied to be the product sold by McDonald's, the food distributor who owns a slogan expressing enjoyment of the satisfaction of consuming calories. Master Chief, mind telling me what you're doing in that McDonald's? Sir. Dum-dum-dum-dum.
It was halfway to becoming Foxy there. Hi, dog.
Hey, don't be mad, but I pushed some buttons in your lab and now I'm a marketable plush toy.
That's right, Boomstick.
Well, I finished the fight.
Yeah, I'm Cortana. You just got brutally murdered.
I didn't say how I was gonna finish it. Stop criticizing me!
It's Dooming time!
Oh, for fuck's sake! Okay. Not into the... Fuck off! Fuck off, mate! Jesus fuck. Master Chief, by telling me how you're enjoying the CDI Zelda game?
Sir, not into the pit. It burns!
It's over, Master Chief. I've depicted you as the soy jack and me as the Chad.
Master Chief, you might tell me what you're doing as a shrimp?
Sir, frying this rice.
French Master Chief, we don't allow that here. I don't know how to make audio of any of that. I don't know how to make audio. I should just like stop ever speaking. Yeah, so that was just like a moment of silence for me. So yeah, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. And tell me who you think's gonna win the next death battle down below. Why not? Just like fuck at this point, fuck it. Who's winning Kyle Simone? Because I don't really care. And I don't really care, but you know, it'd be nice to see people talking about the next time, this time, instead of just talking about some random woman in the animation. Hey, was there gonna be a subreddit devoted to Forklift Isabel? Can we get that? Can we get some of that? You know, I'm pretty sure people just fucking love that, you know? Yeah, it'd be fucking hysterical. That was a joke. Don't do that. I will fucking spifflicate you. Alright, have a good one. Auf Wiedersehen.